Greetings, friend. Welcome to another message from the wilderness. This is a very important passage that we're going to be considering in our series on passages, looking at the emphasis that the Spirit of God places on faith, love, and good works in the New Testament. We're going to be at ground zero for the Christian life and the emphasis that is placed on love throughout the New Testament, from Matthew through Revelation. Now, when we become Christians, the emphasis is on our faith and belief. We're saved from our sins. We believe in Jesus and what He is and what He did here on this earth. We're baptized into Him after we decide to change our hearts and change our lives. When we become a part of Him, we are raised to walk in newness of life, and we are given the gift of the Spirit, which helps us to fulfill that desire to change and to focus on the things that God has shown to be essential. We're going to be concentrating, just in passing, on 1 Corinthians 13:2 and 1 Corinthians 13:13. But I think I would really be amiss if I did not read more from 1 Corinthians on this subject, because it really says it all concerning the Christian life, the way that we are to live. The Christians in Corinth wanted to have all sorts of gifts and to do and be involved in many, many things, and that's good. But at the end of the 12th chapter, Paul tells them, and if you would turn there to 1 Corinthians 12, verse 31, as he moves into 1 Corinthians 13, he says, "And yet I will show you the most excellent way." And I like to think of that as a description of Christianity. The most excellent way, because Christians referred to Christianity as the way at the very beginning. So then we move to 1 Corinthians 13, and follow along as I read this relatively quickly, but look at what is being done and then what makes what is being done either important or not important. "If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor, and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part, but when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now we see only a reflection, as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. That pretty much says and describes in beautiful terms what we as Christians are to be. If we look in that mirror and don't see love, if we don't see the kindness and the protection and the action and the patience and the tolerance and all of these things that are described here as love, then we need to really consider our lives. In 1 Corinthians 13:2, we see we can have faith to move mountains. We can be able to prophesy. We can know all mysteries, but if we don't have love, that means nothing. And then in chapter 13, verse 13, hope, faith, love, they remain. At the time that Paul wrote those things, but he says the greatest of these is love. Love, indeed, is the beating heart of the type of Christianity that God requires of us. Look at the life of Jesus. He went about teaching, but he went about healing and doing good and loving people and being compassionate and forgiving. That's where Christians need to be if we are to be, as C.S. Lewis says, little Christs. Goodbye for this time. Reread 1 Corinthians 13 over and over again and understand what God expects of us as Christians. Goodbye for now.